Okay, Heatsink here. So what we're going to do is figure out where we're going to weld these tabs on to. So I probably want to make it so like they're kind of, it's like in the middle. So what we want to bolt, I want to put 4 bolts, so we need to mark 2 places on each side where we're gonna be drilling the holes. So what I did is I measured this, and it comes out to 108 millimeters, almost 108.6. So it's a little bit longer than 108. But if you divide 108 by 4, you get 27. Okay, 27. All right. So every 27 millimeters is a quarter of this. So on 1 quarter we're gonna drill a hole, and then another quarter, and then 2 more quarters on the third of the 3 quarters we're going to drill another hole here. So I'm going to mark those off so we know where to weld the tabs on to that heatsink. Okay, I know Heatsink should probably just pay someone to do this, but I don't think anybody would want to do it because it's kind of a small job. It's a small job for a welding shop, you know, but it's a big job for Heatsink because he sucks at welding. I'm no good at welding. Okay, so I'm going to go look up 27 millimeters on my caliper here, which is about that much right there. Okay, and then we're going to go mark that on the controller. Okay, so right about there. Okay, there's one. Mark, whoop, whoop, right here, right here, right here, right here, right there. Okay, then I'm just gonna go ahead and do that for the other side also. So basically, like halfway point is right here, a quarter is right here, and 3/4 is right here. If you're going from left up to down. Okay, so those are where we're gonna be drilling our holes. And that's where I need to weld the tabs onto. I'm going to go ahead and mark those off on the other side now. Here's a little close-up of the marks I made. Okay, so there it is. Sorry, the light is kind of making it super duper bright, but this is the left side of the bike, and I've marked it right here and right here. Okay. Okay, so now that I have the marks on there, I'm gonna go take my heatsink and just stick it on there, and then just mark off where those marks are on this one. Okay, so like I said, to get the maximum amount of coverage, let's move it up a little bit, something like that. All right, and then I'm gonna go ahead on the other side and then mark the other side. Okay, so I've gone and marked off all the places where we're going to be installing the tabs. So that's where we're going to be drilling, actually. So we got to try to keep the tabs centered on that. All right. What I might do is just make it a rectangular tab. How about that? So just in case we kind of mess up, we got some area to play with. Okay. And I hope I can do this. So it's not really so critical. The tabs are straight, you know, are flat, but it does, the surface of the heatsink should be flat. Okay, hopefully when we heat it up it won't warp the heatsink or anything. I hope not. You know, so we're gonna go weld the tabs onto here. Alternatively, we could just put a long piece of bar stock here, but I think I'd rather just go with the tabs. Okay, and then we're gonna weld them onto here, and then drill them. Then we'll drill here, and then we'll put screws in to hold it together. Also, another thing, like I said, another thing we're gonna have to do is on the controller. itself, there's this at least the black part of the controller here. It's kind of in the way. So when the heatsink gets mounted on flat on this, it hits this, so it doesn't make a good connection with this. So what we're gonna have to do is grind this a little bit, grind the black bracket. We might be able to loosen the screws on this and scooch it a little bit, but I think the best thing to do is just grind the black part down. Okay, and so the heatsink will mount under this black part right here, so we probably don't have to do that. And plus the blue part of the controller, the blue plastic part, it looks like it's flush with the heatsink almost. So I think it should be okay. Yeah. Okay. And it's going to be bolted on there anyway, so I don't know. If it touches it at all, we might have to grind some of the blue plastic a little bit too. But it doesn't look like there's much to grind, you know. I know it just kind of damaged the controller a little bit, sort of, kind of, but it's not going to affect its operation. It'll make it work better once we install this, right? Okay. Okay. So the material I'll be using to make the tab is this. So this is a it says 1/8 by 1/2 inch aluminum flat. Okay. So I think this is 1/2 inch right here. So we're going to want to do 1/4 inch. But so I've measured it in millimeters, and it's almost like 13 millimeters. it's like 12 3/4 millimeters. So let's just go with 24. So I'm going to go double that size to 24. Maybe a little more than 24. Okay, and then we're going to go cut that off. We're going to cut 4 24-inch, at the 24 millimeter tabs out to weld onto the heatsink. Okay. I know. I wish Hades Omega. I wish this heatsink was just a tad bigger. If it was just like 1/2 inch bigger wings on it, I wouldn't have to do this. Hades Omega hates working with this stuff. I'm not lying, dude. I really suck at using it. All right, but hey, practice makes perfect, right? So okay, right. Hades Omega here. So I found the fasteners that I'll be using. I kind of this is something I dug up in my toolbox. Really small screws. We want to use the smallest kind of screw that we can, and I think if we use 4 of these, it should be enough to hold it on there fine, provided my welding is good. So there are these screws that have these locking nuts. Now, I don't know if it's good to use nylon locking nuts because this is going to be something that gets hot. I don't know if it's going to be hot enough to melt the nylon, but I hope it isn't. If that becomes a problem, we'll add locking washers to it. Okay. I'm not really sure how thick this is. Let me get a measurement real quick. Okay, it's an odd size. It's 2.64 millimeters. You can call that like maybe 3 millimeters, I guess. So those are the fasteners that we're going to be using. It's going to be really tiny. So the hole's going to be really tiny. Since the hole's going to be kind of tiny, let's just cut this into a square. I'm going to cut this into just 12 millimeter squares, okay? Since that's all that's going to go on there. That's much smaller than 12 millimeters, so tiny little hole. So that's good. That's less, material we have to cut into and stuff. Plus, we don't have like a whole lot of room to work with. We don't have a whole lot of room to work with on this wing here, okay? So that's why we kind of need to use a small one. Plus, don't forget, we have to put a locking nut on the back of this, so it has to be able to fit on that. Okay, so just to test to see if this is a good size, I'll put the locking nut back there. Yes, and it fits like too perfectly. It's like exact, okay? So the hole we're gonna have to drill is like in between there. We have to really drill that thing precision. Okay. Well, it doesn't have to be precision, but it has to be pretty close. Okay. We won't be able to actually turn the locking nut. We're gonna have to just hold it with a nut and then turn the screwdriver part of it. So Hopefully that works. Hopefully that works, and hopefully this, you know, the size of the fasteners and everything will do the trick. Will help secure it, because you definitely don't want your heatsink falling off, you know, when you're riding. That would suck. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna go measure off 12 millimeters. Just use this, and then we're gonna cut it into a square. Okay, I'll show you the mark. That's the first square we're gonna cut off. Okay, so I'm just gonna try to make that black part disappear. Okay, so that is ready to be cut. I've got it on my vise. Okay, got my safety glasses on. We're gonna go cut that piece out, and then I'm gonna try to level this a little bit. It's a little not 90 degrees. Okay, here goes. Okay, there it is. I'm gonna go quench it. Okay, that's the first one. I'm gonna go cut a bunch of other ones, and then we'll try to level them off and stuff. If anything, I should probably cut them off at 13 millimeters so we can level it off. Okay, all right. There's one. I'll just make 3 more of those. All right, here's me up. Okay, so there are the 4 mounting tab squares that I cut out. So I'm going to square them off a little more and then clean up all these burrs on it, okay? Okay, so that's what it looks like when it's all cleaned up. Sort of, kind of. We're going to have to clean it up a little more before we weld them on, okay? But I'm just going to do that for the rest of them. So. Okay, so there's my kind of welding jig. That's what I call it. So I'm using the anvil on my vise here to hold it flat as possible, and then the heatsink's a little too long, so I put this can under it, and I put this is just to prop it up so it doesn't fall down. And I put this rock that I got from the Rubicon. That's why it says Ruby on it. The other one says Con. I have 2 rocks. And I put it on top of the heatsink to hold it flat. Okay? And then all we're going to do is we're going to try to weld that to like that right there. Okay? It's going to be just like that. So you see the black mark that I made with the pen? We're just going to weld that together right there. Okay? It says you have to heat the material up to 750 degrees and then melt it onto there. Hey, so I'm telling you, Haze Omega is really bad at this. So really bad, but I try, you know. So I've got my propane torch right here, and that's what you're supposed to heat it up with. And then we'll use our thermometer to see how hot it's getting, the material. When we get kind of close, we'll start melting the rod onto it. Okay. The first things first, we gotta clean the 2 materials, okay? So this is the first one. So how I'm gonna clean that, I'm gonna use this wire brush tool on the Dremel, okay? So I'm gonna clean this side this side and this side. There's some like overspray paint on it for some reason. Oh. Okay. So there's that. And then we got to clean the actual surface. So so I don't lose the mark, I might make more marks. let me go make some more marks before I start cleaning that area. So basically I'm going to weld it on the top, and then we're going to try to weld it from the bottom. Okay. It may just fall apart when, I don't know. I might just do it from the bottom then. We'll see. I mean from the top. Okay. Hopefully they don't come off when I heat it up, because we're going to heat it up to about 700 degrees. Okay, that looks pretty good. Alright, so that's what I've done. I've cleaned that, and I've cleaned the other part. Alright, so now comes the fun part, where we weld everything together. Okay, so this is going to be right around here-ish. Okay, and that's where we're going to try to weld them together right there. I hope this works. I